Hey guys, Katie here from Equestrian Movement, and today's training is going to be about how to get your horse to trust you. So I'm going to make this really simple. The best way to build trust in your horse and your horse's trust in you, is to make good decisions for them. So what we're talking about when we're talking about making good decisions for them is essentially not overfacing them. So a really clear example of what that would look like is getting a horse to approach a meter fence if they have only ever trained 30 centimeters. And especially if they've never jumped before and they're not particularly athletically built to jump. If you go from training 30 centimeters to training a meter within one training session without any setup for your horse, you will lose their trust because you're putting them into a situation that they haven't done before, and it's more than likely going to fail. And if it doesn't fail, then they're really going to have to pull up their britches and have a good crack at it because you haven't done the training to set them up appropriately for them. So in saying that, the best way to lose our horse's trust is to make bad decisions for them. So like we were talking about there with overfacing them, we could be overfacing them in the training arena, in that environment of how high we're going to jump and how fast we want them to go, or the complexity of the dressage movements you want them to do. You can overface them by putting them into challenging environments and changing the environment without the prep work, so that they don't know what to do when they're scared, they don't know how to manage themselves emotionally. And just in general, if you're putting them into situations and it's going pear-shaped and you're not supporting them through that experience, then they are going to lose trust in you. So what does it look like to create that scenario where we're going to be building trust with our horse, because we're not overfacing them and we're working with the next best steps for where they're at? So it's really important to know where your prerequisites are and where your progressions are, and being really comfortable coming back down into your foundations, getting them better and moving forward. And then when you get stuck, don't stay stuck there. Come back down, come back into your prerequisites, figure out what you've missed, and then move forward again from there. So being really clear at how you're going to break your ass down, chunk it down into tiny little slithers, and build on top of that. If you create too big of a distance between where you are now and where you're trying to go, it will feel impossible because there's a lot of steps in between. But if you're clear on those steps, where they are and how you're going to build on them and layer in the next skill, then you don't feel so stuck if you're spending a bit of time refining the quality of one of those foundational skills. Being clear in your communication, it's really important that there is a good two-way communication that's happening between you and your horse, that they can tell you if they need something and you can tell them if you need something from them. Building a positive relationship with you, it's not just about submission and control. If we were trying to just ride for submission and control, we would go and ride motorbikes because they don't have the ability to think for themselves and they don't have the ability to feel. The best part about working with horses is that they are emotional beings and they are intelligent and able to problem solve and decide whether they want to work with us or not. So being somebody that your horse wants to work with is going to make them more willing and make those progressions a lot easier. And lastly, we're going to build a positive relationship with our tools. So in this training here, you can see where we're using the whip for targeting, and that's to build up a positive relationship with our tools, in that our whip is a word and the word is away from. It's not a means to bully, intimidate, punish, or create a pressure that's uncomfortable. It's just a word, and the word is away from. So when we're introducing one of our tools, if our horses are worried or unsure and they don't know what the correct answer is and they're hypervigilant, they're not going to give us a relaxed response. So our first thing to do when we're working with developing a positive relationship with our tools is to ask for permission to work with those tools with our horse, and then to develop stand with relaxation with the tool. And then we can start saying, hey, this isn't like something that I'm trying to pressure you with or push you around with or bully you with. This is just a word, and the word is away from. And then when we can get really clear that they're words, and it's, you know, how the horse responds to the tool is the way that they communicate with us, and then what we do in response to them is the way that we communicate with them. That's how we build out that conversation. So it's about not getting engaged emotionally in how the horse is responding and seeing it as their part of the conversation. And that may mean that we need to adapt what we're doing to better suit our horse, or to give our horse that emotional support, emotional self-regulation to process the tool or the skills better. So if you want a step-by-step process with how to do all of this, that is our membership, which is at www.equestrianmovement.com/trainability. We start with seeking connection, developing boundaries, creating emotional self-regulation, all the way through to securely attached horse, and then how we're going to get ready to go work with that. So we've got the skills laid out for how to do those steps individually first, but then how we're going to layer that into the skills like preparing for being in the saddle, and our basic horse husbandry, making our horses safe for our vets and our farriers, and also just some games on the ground so that our horses can enjoy playing with us and we can enjoy playing with them. So feel free to pop over, check out what that's about. We've got a couple of trainings which is just a walkthrough of that. And if you have any questions and you're not sure if it's for you, just reach out and give us a holler and we can organize a Zoom call or something. Thanks for watching. Bye.